we're going to go under the Longfellow Bridge. This is the one they call the Salt and Pepper Shaker Bridge because of the big towers. Very old. They just restored it. It took 5 years. They're still working on parts of it, but it's pretty much done. It's a nationally protected landmark, so they have to keep it looking exactly the way it did back in 1907 when they built it. Back then, people thought Viking sailed to Charles, after the big Viking boats. They deconstructed all those towers and rebuilt them to an exact measure. The project's costing $300 million. And a big reason for that is the bottom of the river. It's not very stable material down there. The consistency is like jelly, and that's due to years of pollution. It's kind of hard to deal with that. All that steel is brand new. That's what happened. Because it's a landmark, they had to use all the same specifications and techniques from 1907, so they had to hire people to learn how to rivet. Not a lot of people rivet anymore. And right now we're at the deepest part of the river. It's 40 feet. And if you look to the right, you're going to see a big green windowed building. That's Microsoft. And right after that is the beginning of the campus at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's one of the best technical schools ever. History of the world. Their greatest contribution to this world? Radar. That's the Doppler radar over there with the big ball. So they figure out the weather. And that helped the war effort. And then they figured out the moon landing technology back in the 60s. The gyroscope. That technology went into defense, missile stuff like that. The campus starts here and it goes about 2 miles upriver. It's about 10,000 students. It started as a marine science school in Boston in 1861. And upriver on the Boston side, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a big, huge billboard with a triangle on it. That's the Citgo sign at Kenmore Square, and everything to the right of that's Boston University. Another great school. So Martin Luther King did his graduate work. And there's the Prudential Tower, the big antenna. It's got the new Four Seasons Hotel and residence going up right next to it. And the Four Seasons is going to be 59 stories, which is 1 story shy of the John Hancock Tower. 60. Opened 1976. Tallest in New England. That deco building with the needle there, that's the original John Hancock. It was opened in 1947. And that big dome on the right is the Hatch Memorial Shell. And that's where the Boston Pops play in the 4th of July. It's the biggest day of the year. You know, if you want to go over to Newbury Street and the Public Garden, you could walk over there in no time at all by walking the river. Just go up to that dome and take a left and you'll see a little bridge and it brings you right over to Beacon Street. You'll see Cheers in the Public Garden right over there. It won't take you long enough. The museum is just down here. This right here, this boathouse, this is the best deal in town for kids. It's called community boating. And if you're age 10 to 18, they'll teach you how to sail and it costs $1 for the whole summer. They're a non-profit. When you bought your ticket, they ask if you'd like to donate your change to charity. And if you do that, we double it, we give it to them. So just know that goes to a good cause, not just keeping your money. You could also walk over here to the bridge and you can jump on the red line if you want to go to Harvard. We'll be there in less than 10 minutes, 3 stops away. Actually, yeah, 3 stops away. Or you can walk up to this other footbridge here, cross over, and that's the back end of Beacon Hill neighborhood. Once you get off the train at Harvard, you walk upstairs, you're right in the middle of everything. Harvard Square's right there. You get that free tour of Harvard with your ticket, your duck tour ticket. Beautiful campus, America's first college. And you got 2 stops at MIT on the way. You know, we also donate the change that people give us to a thing called the Charles River Watershed Association. And they recently sued that huge power plant over here to the left. The association is a bunch of lawyers and scientists, and they go after polluters. That's a steam plant, which is good. That's clean energy. It's clean, renewable. You don't see a lot of steam plants nowadays. They don't make them anymore. It's so expensive. Use steam pressure to generate heat and electricity. Now that, for years, that plant has been taking in river water to cool their turbines. And every day they take in 70 million gallons. And then when they push it back into the river, it's 10 degrees warmer, which is really bad for fish because they're cold-blooded. So they don't hang out here, they just pass through very uncomfortably. So they sued them, and they're going to start using wind to cool their turbines, and then the fish will come back. So that's a good thing. Good cause. I was talking to the head of that group, and he was on my tour, and he said if you want to swim the river, you're not supposed to touch the bottom because of all that weird consistency down below. He said it's toxic, and it's like a metallic mud. And he said during the Civil War in the 1860s, all the cannonballs in Canada that were cast for that war effort were cast in Cambridge, and that's a lot of artillery. And when they were done, they threw all the extra lead in the river, which is bad. And that went down to the bottom and it caused that weird sediment. He said that if you touched it, if you stepped in it, it wouldn't kill you, but if like you walked around in it for a while, it would probably make you sick. But you don't have to touch the bottom because it's so deep, and the water's always turning, it's always moving, so it's not going to affect the quality of the river. I asked him if he ever thought about getting rid of that stuff, and he said they tried to, and they did the numbers on it, and they said it would cost $800 million. It's almost $1 billion. So right now, he said that they're trying to find corporations to mine it. Like, they could use that metal for some other purpose. And he said that it would cost like $200 million, which is actually doable. He also said that the biggest threat to this river is all the new apartment buildings going up. Because they're going to have garages, and that means more cars in the streets. And that means more phosphorus in the gutters. You can't see it, but most of gasoline's phosphorus, and it leaves your vehicle invisibly, and it gets into the gutters, and then when it rains out, the gutters lead into the river. So that's their big job right now, is going after those developers and make them build rain darts, which they probably wouldn't do on their own. So they're trying to make it into law. So they're working with politicians and legislation to protect the river. So the money you may have donated goes to their legal fees. So it's a good thing. But the fact that you can swim this river nowadays and not get sick, major milestone. That side of Cambridge used to be all factories, slaughterhouses, meatpacking plants. Now it's all hotels and condos and high-tech industry. Lotus Software started in that building with the tinted windows. They revolutionized office workflow back in the 80s by creating digital spreadsheets. And they made a fortune. I made a lot of them. Just so you know, folks, when you're done with the tour, right around the corner to the left, you can see the Royal Sonesta Hotel. Right behind it's a huge shopping mall. And that's called the Galleria. That's where a lot of locals go. It's not as pricey as the Back Bay shops. Way cheaper to park, too. Using my appointed S because you can't see it from the front of the museum. So it's all the way to the... Boston Red Sox built these parks over here. That's right. Built them for kids, soccer and baseball. They built them after the 2004 World Series. It was their first in 86 years. That was a big deal. Boston's a big baseball town. And we went 15 years without any kind of championship in Boston. And then in 2002, the Patriots finally won. And then in 2004, the Red Sox. That was even bigger than the Patriots. This town exploded. In order to get into that series, they had to beat the Yankees in the playoffs, and they were down 3-0, and they came back 4 straight games. It was the greatest comeback in Major League Baseball history. And then they swept the Cardinals. 8 straight games. In the clubhouse cheering them on was a young boy. His name was Teddy Ebersol. He was like their good luck charm. And he was the son of Dick Ebersol, president of BC Sports. And he died in a plane crash not long after that World Series. They renamed him Teddy Ebersol's Red Sox fans. They won 2 since 2007, 2013. I had David Ortiz on my deck, 2013. And Shane Victorino. We got to open up the windshield and put the trophy right here in the bow. And Rob Gronkowski on board, Super Bowl 49. You guys out of control. Out the bow twerking. Nice and snow under his feet. He's going to break his neck. Both Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski are banished from the Ducks now. Edelman was standing on that vinyl ceiling. We're afraid he's going to fall right through. Now we put them on flatbed trucks. they'll have an upgrade soon. If you folks want to go back by foot, if you want to walk back to Faneuil Hall in the north end, all that old history stuff, just take a right out of the museum, go over that little green drawbridge, just keep walking straight. Watch the traffic though, because this is the end of a highway. Wait